Hello, my name is Nathan Taylor, otherwise known as Sockmatician, and this is a video tutorial to accompany the Sockmatician's double knitted brioche ebook. This particular video shows you how to work the offset single decrease setup in stocking stitch double knitted brioche. There's a lot to unpick there. It's in double knitted brioche, of course, because that's what we're working in. It's stocking stitch double knitted brioche, and you can see at the top of this swatch here, I've got this section of stocking stitch double knitted brioche here, where every stitch that you can see is worked as a knit stitch, although you can still clearly see it's a double knitted brioche fabric. And it's a single decrease setup because this is a setup that gets worked in the round prior to where I want to work the decrease itself. So the decrease will happen in the next row. This is the row where I'm just aligning all the stitches and putting them in the order that I want them in, ready to work that decrease when I come back to it. And it's an offset single decrease setup because I don't work it at the beginning of a pair, I work it part way through a pair. And as a result, even though it's a single decrease setup, this particular maneuver takes up the space of 3 pairs of stitches. I'll explain why. You've got the first half of the pair, and that's what makes it offset because we start the decrease setup here. The next 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches are the 2 pairs which will become the decreases themselves, one with the 2 knit coloured stitches and one with the 2 pearl coloured stitches. And then the 6th stitch is the second half of that split pair. So the decrease setup itself happens here and here, flanked by half a pair at either end. That sounds unnecessarily complicated, so let's just plough in, shall we, and I'll show you how it's done. As always, because I'm working double knitted brioche of any kind, I've got my knit coloured yarn at the back of the work going over the top of the right needle, and my pearl coloured yarn is at the front of the work. With my knit coloured yarn, knit 1 stitch. That's what I'm going to do. Done. I take my pearl coloured yarn to the back of the work going over the top of the right needle. Then I bring my knit coloured yarn to the front of the work coming between the 2 needles, and then it goes to the back of the work again over the top of the right needle. Next, insert the tip of the right needle purlwise into the front of the first stitch with its yarn over and the 3rd stitch with its yarn over, missing out the 2nd stitch entirely. So it goes into the 1st and 3rd stitches. If it helps, they're both the pearl coloured knit stitches. And then missing out the 2nd stitch entirely. You can see, of course, I've got the 2 stitches I want on the front needle and 3 on the back needle because I haven't included that 2nd stitch there. Then I'm going to slide the left needle out of these 3 stitches with the yarn overs, and the 2nd stitch will pop free at the back. And then I'm going to slide the left needle back into just this 2nd stitch with its yarn over. I'm saying all that up front because I don't want anything to go astray as I do it while I stop to explain what's going on. So here we go, I slide the left needle out of those 3. That one has popped free at the back, and I slide the left needle into it just to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. I do that as quickly as I can. And as you can see, I've got 2 stitches on the front needle there, and the middle stitch is safely caught on the back needle. Then I'm going to slip 2 stitches with their yarn overs purlwise back from the right needle to the left. That's the main bit of rearranging done, and as you can see, I've got my 2 knit coloured knit stitches sitting adjacent on the needle there, followed by my 2 adjacent pearl coloured knit stitches, remembering that all stitches are knit stitches in stocking stitch double knitted brioche. Using my pearl coloured yarn, I knit 1 stitch with its yarn over, and then I knit the next stitch also with its yarn over. Then I bring the pearl coloured yarn to the front of the work coming between the 2 needles. Next up, I'm going to knit with my knit coloured yarn this time, that knit stitch with its yarn over, and then the next knit stitch also with its yarn over. Take the pearl coloured yarn to the back of the work going over the top of the right needle. Then bring the knit coloured yarn to the front of the work going between the 2 needles, then take it to the back of the work going over the top of the right needle. Then I just need to work with the second half of the last pair. So using my pearl coloured yarn, I'm going to knit that stitch with its yarn over and finish everything off by bringing my pearl coloured yarn to the front of the work coming between the 2 needles. Let's have a look at what that's done. Here are my 6 stitches, the 3 pairs involved in this setup. The first one is just the half to get us to the offset position. Then I've got my 2 adjacent knit coloured stitches followed by my 2 adjacent pearl coloured stitches. They're all knit stitches, of course. These 2 sit under 1 shared yarn over, as do these 2, and then I've got my 6th stitch, which is just to get us out of the offset position, back ready to start working at the beginning of the next pair. And that's how to work the offset single decrease setup in stocking stitch double knitted brioche.